Hi everyone, my name is Deb Holland. Welcome to today's video blog. We're still working out of my workbook Taming the Toxic Workplace, which is available on Amazon.com and my website debhollandlcsw.com. Today's topic is about one incredibly important aspect of figuring out toxic workplaces and what you can do about them before we get into the system for figuring out the problem and the impact and what to do about it. This is the number one question. This is the million-dollar question. This is the most critically important question that you can ask in a toxic workplace situation. Is the leader that you are dealing with, is the person that you are dealing with, a fundamentally good person with good intention towards people and a good heart who occasionally makes mistakes, maybe even bad ones, we'll even allow for that, or is the person that you're dealing with a fundamentally bad character who occasionally manages not to mess things up? The answer to that question is the most important one to figure out before we move ahead, because there are two incredibly, extraordinarily different strategies for dealing with the situation based on your answer to that question. You are the expert on your situation. I am not. I provide information and you need to use it to figure out your own situation. You know the people, the players, the culture, the system, all of it. So this is the most important question that you can ask, because if you're dealing with a fundamentally good person who makes mistakes, as all human beings do, then good communication skills will generally work, conflict resolution skills will generally work, interpersonal skills and trying to understand each other's perspectives will generally work for resolving whatever problem you face, even if it's difficult, even if it's messy, even if it's complicated. If you're dealing with a fundamentally good person, they can handle conflict, they can handle disagreement. You're going to be able to navigate that because their intention is to have a good impact. Their intention is to have a good working relationship with you and with others and serve the organization well and all of those things that we're supposed to be bringing to the table when we show up for work every day. However, if you're dealing with a fundamentally bad person with a bad intention, normal communication skills, normal conflict resolution skills will make you more vulnerable and get you more hurt. They will open you up and expose you to more damage. You have to deal with those individuals extraordinarily differently. There is way too much material about that for today's short video blog, so that's going to come in the future. But the important thing is for you to really think about, and if you can, and if you can't, that's okay, but if you can, set aside your personal feelings. Set aside any anger or hurt or fear that you may have and think about the individual in question, the one who's giving you trouble, the one who's causing so much chaos in the work environment. Think about their pattern of relationships across a variety of people at a variety of levels. If they're the sort of an individual that manipulates people and schemes and scams and is always trying to work some kind of an angle for themselves, you're probably dealing with a bad actor. If it's someone who generally has good relationships and does a good job, and they have a history of getting along well with people, and there's some really defined specific area of conflict, you're probably dealing with a pretty good person where the conflict and the issue is contained and it can be worked through. So that's the most important thing for you to be thinking about. It can be a very difficult thing to think about it. If you're experiencing a really hurtful or a really maddening or really frustrating situation in the work environment, it can be very difficult to think about that person causing you that kind of stress or pain in a positive light. But you need to do it just long enough to get a good read on their general pattern with other people, the situation that you're in, and try and match up what's really going on, because your answer to that question dictates the strategy for the entire rest of the workbook and for what you can do in your work environment. So we're going to get into that in a lot more depth in the weeks to come. By the time this series of video blogs is done, you're going to have some new information that you can use to try and help with your situation, whether you're able to fix it entirely, that's the ideal, or fix it just for you, which is still a completely legitimate, completely valid strategy, because at the end of the day, you're worth your safety, you matter, you're valuable, and your family matters as well. So let's try and do what we can to get you back on track. Think about this over the next week, and I'll see you again next week, and we'll start diving in depth into the system of assessment. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll be praying for you. You have a good day.